Hi, guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. I'm Melinda Fargas, and I'm your host. And I am going to bring you up to speed with what's going on in the travel world. Um, if you have been around very long, you know I've been working on our Alaska trip. And before I got started with the show today, I was researching Alaska wildlife. And, they say if you meet a moose, stay calm, don't run, and make yourself look big. Essentially, the same thing as you have to do with airline customer service. Thought that was cool. Well, let me tell you what has gone on this week. The first piece of news is about air. American Airlines is is in talks with United Airlines for a merger. Now, this could really mix things up for us because basically we have Delta, United, and American as our US carriers. This would take two of the three largest airlines and merge them together. So, not sure um, how that would work. Several years ago, they talked about the unfairness of Spirit and JetBlue merging because they were two low price carriers. So we'll have to see how this goes. And it's a move that could reshape the way that aviation landscape looks in the United States. A heartwarming moment at 30,000 feet. A Delta crew and passengers jumped in to deliver a baby on board. The captain diverted the flight to the nearest airport, and mom and baby are doing well. But it's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most unexpected journeys begin in the sky. Well, let's jump to what is going on in the cruise news. Norwegian Breakaway had a crew member go overboard this week. It was just off the coast of Cape Cod, and the U.S. Coast Guard searched more than 1,000 square miles, but the operation was suspended. He was not found. It's a sad but true occurrence, and it kind of brings me to the next point, which is cruise safety. The other story is about the Disney cruise safety tech. They have, and they've been praised for its advanced Motronic overboard detection system. It's technology that was created with saving lives, and there aren't many ships who have this. Newer ships have overboard warnings in place, but not all of them. And in a third story, the Strait of Hormuz opened this week after more than 6 weeks of closure, and 6 cruise ships that were stranded since February finally got to move out of the region. It's been a win for those cruise ships to get away. Although 2 of those ships were MSC ships, and they vow not to return to the Mediterranean in all of 2026. We'll see how that goes. Well, let's jump into the storms. That's not it. Here it is. We begin with severe weather today in Texas. Runaway Bay. And when I first read that, I thought it was talking about Jamaica because there's a real popular area, Runaway Bay in Jamaica. But it wasn't. It was Runaway Bay, Texas. They encountered a deadly EF2 tornado today with winds up to 135 miles per hour. One person was killed, 6 were injured, and more than 20 homes destroyed. It is that time of year where April we expect that more fluent weather. But emergency crews and volunteers and the Red Cross are on the ground tonight helping families begin this very long road to recovery. As always, we want to stay safe. Here are some official resources that every traveler should have bookmarked, like weather.gov, ready.gov, the NOAA.gov site, the toolkit.climate.gov, and then there's a QR code for the FEMA app. Speaking of weather, today, right near where I went to school, there was an earthquake in Redlands, California. It is one of many since we spoke last week about the major earthquake in Japan. We've been tracking major earthquakes around the world, and travel advisories and temporary transit delays were the biggest factor from the earthquake last week. But we want to turn now to what has gone on in other areas, because that was just kind of the beginning. Whoops, I lost my, oh, there you are. That was just kind of the beginning. We see after Japan, there are 2 other major quakes that have happened this week in Japan. It makes that ring of fire very unstable. And, even though Redlands is far south, it's inland an hour and a half east of Los Angeles. It's right at the San Andreas Fault, as are other quakes that have gone on this week. We need to be cautious because that ring of fire extends on up into Alaska, and you'll see there was a 4.6 yesterday near Kooten, Alaska, and it tends to continue like that. Be concerned for Northern California in the coming days. Well, that about wraps it up for this week. I hope that you guys check us out for weekly travel updates next week. I have gone to a summer schedule thinking, oh, it's going to be nice outside. So who wants to come in and be somewhere at 7:30? Let me know if 8 o'clock is better for you or if you preferred 7:30. I would really like your opinion. We are in the first little bit of rain that we've had in the state of North Carolina. We're in a severe drought, and we got a little rain last night, expecting a little bit more on Wednesday. What's your state like? Drop it in the comments. I would very much like to know. And don't forget, we are going to Alaska. Our 20th group trip travels to Alaska in September of 2027. And for a $100 deposit, you can join us. One of the stories I came this close to doing was the changes in cruise suggestions. It used to be, yeah, you could always get a last minute deal. Those days are gone. industry analysts are saying the earlier you book it, the better. You can always go down to a new promotion price if one becomes available. But once that price goes up, and we're seeing occupancy levels at 100% this year, 100%. That means that each of those cabins that have capacity for two, that's what they consider 100%. But we're over 100% because many of those cabins have 3 and 4 passengers in them. It's that time of year. And with cruising still being the largest segment of travel in growth, it'll keep going like that. So my suggestion, buy now. If you have a trip planned for this year, look into it now because it's unlikely that that price point is going to go down. Well, I'm Melinda Fargus. And remember, without a travel agent, you're on your own. But with Action Travel, you're never alone. You get to carry this phone number with you. Oh, do you see my new picture of Gray? Isn't he a cutie? If you haven't seen it, it's on Facebook. All right. Ciao, guys. I'll see you next week. Have a good evening.